Hey, what's up guys? Min City here, back again with another video, and today I am going to be going over my top 5 hidden gems in the Match 3 RPG subgenre. Now this is not going to include super well-known Match 3 RPGs on the App Store such as Puzzles and Dragons and like the Puzzle Quest series, although the Puzzle Quest series is actually what got me into this subgenre to begin with back on the Nintendo DS. But we will not be including super well-known ones. Maybe you will recognize some of them, but I really tried to make this a list that a lot of these are not really well-known. But I hope you guys find a game that you can really enjoy and sink your teeth into. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so Dragons and Diamonds. The art style initially kind of turned me off with this. Like, it definitely doesn't seem as polished as like a AAA title or anything. You can definitely tell that this is an indie game made by a small group of developers. But then the art style really grew on me. If you guys are familiar of the Dungeon Raid game, it was a premium puzzle RPG, Match 3 on the App Store back in the day. It was very popular, but this has similar gameplay mechanics to that, whereas you're not just matching 3 diamonds in a row, so to speak. You're trying to link as many of a similar kind of diamond in a row as possible, and the more you link together, the more things will happen. Like, there's 4 different diamond elements that your heroes are, and each of their attacks corresponds to those diamonds that you're linking together that I mentioned earlier. And so every time you link together a butt ton of those diamonds in a row, your hero will attack with a higher attack. Also, your heroes also have abilities that will put special gems on the field that alter the board in specific ways. The way this game is designed, it's a single player game with no multiplayer, but levels you can 3-star them by doing certain specific achievements, and also there are things on the board when the level begins that can be obstructions for you, and you have to make matches next to them to make them disappear and stuff of that nature. It reminds me a lot of Candy Crush and the way that they set up their levels in a way, but I really enjoyed my time with this one. This one probably took me by surprise more than any other game on the list, so I highly suggest this for you guys. The free playability is very good. You get multiple copies of a hero to make them stronger, and you spend gold to make them stronger. It does have energy, but I've never really felt like I've been able to binge this game quite heavily, and I didn't really feel like energy was that much of an issue. And the gold, I don't feel like I've been starved for gold just yet, but I'd say I'm about midway through the content. So I'm sure eventually gold becomes a problem, but hey, this game is super fun, so the grind is not going to be boring. But anyways, I highly suggest this one. Alright, now on to Hero Emblems. Now this is about as classic as it gets when it comes to the Match 3 RPG subgenre. This is a single player game. It's premium, so it does have an upfront cost, but it's very cheap. And I think this is the best single-player experience you can have in the Match 3 RPG subgenre. Now, it doesn't do anything absolutely insane to set itself apart from any other Match 3 RPG, but it has a really cute art style. It's really polished. It has great sound effects and music, and it has a great little cute little story. Everything is just extremely solid and polished in this game. I highly suggest you buy it. As you can see from the gameplay that you guys are going to be watching, it's just solid through and through. It's very simple but satisfying. It's a 20+ hour campaign. That's nuts. Extreme value for that little small upfront cost. So I highly suggest you guys try this one out if you are not afraid of games that have a price tag. Alright, so Hexagon Dungeon. Now, this is my favorite game on the list. I know I was not going to put them in any particular order, but I just want to explain why. So, Hexagon Dungeon took me by surprise because all of the elements in this game are not unique in and of themselves, but the combination of them makes this game super unique. Now, instead of having a board full of gems or diamonds or some sort of object, the board is empty. So the board consists of a bunch of hexagons, and then you have hexagonal pieces that come in pairs or by themselves, and you can rotate them and place them on the board. Now, when you place 3 next to each other, they all combine into 1. Now, each monster piece has a level to it. So say I have 3 level 1 monsters that are touching each other, then it all combines into a level 2 monster, and so on. So whenever you combine 3 in a row, then that monster attacks whatever enemy you're looking at. Now, if you guys are familiar with 1 million and you must build a boat, now that game, you had to go as far as you could, and then once you died, you'd have to restart again. But in between those sessions, you use what you got from that run to build up a base, so to speak, that makes your life easier in the long run and makes it so that you can go farther again. Now, that is in this game. You can add things to your dungeon that make it so that you can go farther and farther in a run and get a higher score each and every time. It's super addicting. This is free. There are ads, and they are kind of annoying sometimes, but it is a $1.99 in-app purchase to remove those ads and make it feel pretty dang premium. But you cannot remove like the premium currency and stuff like that. It'll still be there, but I've literally never felt like I needed it at all. The only thing I would ever spend money on in this is the ad remover, which is more than worth it. But if you guys really want something unique and different that you haven't tried before in the Match 3 RPG subgenre, you guys have to try out Hexagon Dungeon. All right, now we're on to Tavern Guardians. For some reason, I feel like this went under a lot of people's radar when it was first released, and it still seems like not too many people know about it. Now, this one is pretty classic as well. It's basically Puzzle Quest mixed with Dungeon Raid, Dungeon Raid's class system, and it does have a few unique things of its own. So you pick a class, and it'll be like an archer or mage or whatever, and you have certain abilities that go with that class that you can use at times. You can loot little items that you can use throughout your play session. This is a roguelike, so when you die, you die. But there is a cool, unique mechanic where the enemies are on the board and they will slowly move down the board towards the bottom. And if they hit the bottom, then they attack you. And so you really want to get rid of the enemies and prioritize certain enemies over others, depending on where they're at on the board. Or you want to make matches that don't quicken their pace down towards the bottom of the board. It's really unique. I really like it. The classes add a lot of replayability to it, and you might find like, oh, this class is really fun, but I kind of suck with it, or I'm really good with this class kind of thing. So there's a lot of replayability. This is also a premium title, so it does have an upfront price, but I think it's well worth the price, especially for the amount of time and fun that you're going to get out of it. But I highly suggest this one as well. Definitely adds some unique things to the genre. All right, last and certainly not least, this is probably the most ununique game on this list, honestly, is Heroes of Elements. Now, when this first came out, I actually was pretty impressed by it. You could tell that it was made by a small dev team, but it's very polished. I love the art style. It's very clean looking, very organized, and I really like it. But basically everything you see in it, you've seen in a million other games, especially the Puzzle Quest series. However, I think they nail the difficulty. Now, you cannot take this game just like, you can't really go in thinking that, oh, I'll just make a match here and there and I'm definitely going to win. Like, you really have to think through your matches, especially your team composition and which characters you level up. You do have to get copies of heroes and you have to use gold to upgrade them and stuff, and it does feel a little bit grindy when it comes to gold and leveling up heroes and stuff of that nature, and ads are a little bit annoying, but despite all of that, there is a lot of fun to be had here, and I love the difficulty and how much you have to think about who you're bringing to each level in order to 3-star it. It is only single player. They say that there is a multiplayer on the horizon, but they've been saying that for a while, so I don't know what's going on with that. But this is just a very solid, simple, if you just want something that's just literally the epitome of the Match 3 RPG subgenre, but you don't want to pay for it, this is as close as it gets, so I highly suggest you guys try that out if you're one of those people. Okay, and that was my top 5 hidden gems in the Match 3 RPG subgenre. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, feel free to share it, and sub if you guys enjoyed it or if it helped you find a game that you're really enjoying. I appreciate it so much if you guys do that. It really helps my content be seen by other people, and it really helps keep me motivated. I'm going to keep cranking out some mobile gaming content for you guys because that's all I do. It's all about mobile games. So again, thank you for spending your time watching this video. I really appreciate it, and take it easy.